Yo, what is going on, guys? This is What Entertainment today, coming at you guys again with the number top five. This week's top five, we got the top five most frustrating mini games in Majora's Mask. Coming at the number five spot, we got Deu's Playground. Not the biggest fan of this one. I put it at number five because it isn't the most challenging one here, but it can be pretty frustrating. You're going to see this guy run through day two with no problems whatsoever. The main difference across all 3 days is day one, the platforms are pretty stagnant. Day two, they start to shuffle around like this. And day three, they're going both vertical and horizontal. And he was able to complete that in 50 seconds, definitely faster than me. I always get frustrated with this one because if I don't mess up on the first platform, I mess up on the second platform. Then I gotta waste another 10 rupees, which really isn't that much. But you just have these fat Deku guys just taunting you the entire time, which does not make it any easier to complete. But that being said, you're gonna see him take care of this right here on day three. And if you're able to complete all 3 days of Deu Playground, you're gonna get the piece of heart. Pretty frustrating, but not too crazy. Comes in at number five. Number four spot, guys, we got the Honey and Darling shop, specifically day one, the Bomb Shoe Bowling, if you could call it that. Well, actually, Bomb Shoe Bowling was Ocarina of Time. Let's just call this the Bomb Shoe minigame. This one is pretty tricky for the reason that the platform is rotating in the center, obviously, making it hard to line up your shots. But if you just spam enough bomb shoes like this guy does, eventually you'll get lucky enough to grab them, or hit the targets rather. This one's easily more challenging than the 2 days that come after it. Those, of course, being the bomb baskets and the archery challenge. If you complete the first day, you're going to get a purple rupee. As you can see here, I did include some footage from the day three archery challenge just to give you an indication of how tricky this one can be as well. I've heard people talk to me and say that they find this more challenging than day one, which I personally don't agree with, but I can see their frustration, mainly due to the bow controls being really hard to control, whether that be on N64 or Nintendo Switch Online, which uses inverted bow controls. Thank God I never had to play the game on the Switch because that would be a nightmare. But as you can see, he gets that last second there. And if you're able to complete all 3 days of Honey and Darling's mini games, you get the piece of heart. That one's super frustrating. The Bomb Shoe one, I hate it with a passion. And I hate those NPCs too. Number two, guys, this one's a bit of a stretch, but I included the Goron Race mainly because it is technically a mini game. You are rewarded at the end of it after you complete it. And I can't tell you how many times it took for me to understand how this game works, how you beat the other Gorons, and what the trick is. It turns out the trick is to achieve maximum speed before you even begin the race. That way you can get ahead of everybody. But as you can see, you got Gorons coming every which way, knocking into you, and it's incredibly frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. When I was a kid, this probably took me at least an hour and a half to complete. Now I can get through it a lot faster. Nonetheless, I still do find it incredibly frustrating. Comes in at the number three spot, especially when you have the Gorons stealing your magic pots. Coming in at the number two spot, however, we got the Swamp Shooting Gallery. We've talked about this shooting gallery challenge on the channel before. Simply get a score of 2120, which is considered perfect, and you're going to get the heart piece. But this one is a lot easier said than done. As you can see, you got birds flying above, which go for 60 points. The further the enemy is, the more points they're worth. So that wolf there was worth 100. Oftentimes, you're going to see enemies pop up on that tree in the distance too. And you got to make sure you hit all of them. Otherwise, you're not going to get the heart piece. I can't tell you how long it took for me to complete this. If you happen to somehow complete it with extra time on the clock, he's going to add up the extra seconds, which transform into more points for you. But nonetheless, I always hated that one, but not as much as I hate this one, because the town shooting gallery, where you have to get all 50 octos and none of the blue ones, man, is it chaos. I hate this one simply because I always end up hitting either one or two of the blue ones by mistake, even though I know pretty much all the spawns by heart at this point. And as you know, if you hit one of the blue ones, it takes 5 points off. The high score is 49, so you got to hit all 50, which is a perfect game. Again, easier said than done. And you have this obese man yelling at you in Hylian the entire time, which makes it incredibly difficult to concentrate. This guy had no problem with getting a perfect score, though. And as you can see, he gets his heart piece. So that comes in at the number one spot, guys. Let me know what you thought of the list. Let me know if you would change anything. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.